Today I'm going to talk about staying power and longevity, and mostly around your career. And hopefully I'll be able to share some insights that I've learned along my life. And hopefully it will resonate with where you are in your life, and hopefully it will help. And I was just saying earlier that when you do start working, or you do start your career path, or you start being an entrepreneur, there's nothing in your life that you don't really think, oh, I want to have staying power and longevity. Yes, I guess we all want to be successful, right? But I don't think we actually consciously think about how we can have staying power and longevity. And at least not at the beginning. But when we look back and we connect the dots looking backwards over my 25-year career, then you see what was instilled in me at that time to help me make the right choices that led me to today. So I'll share with you my life story and how I got to be standing in front of you today. And that song is really incredible because it talks about the fact that every single day I get up, I fall down, I make mistakes, I get up again and I try again, and the next time you see me, I'll be walking. So having staying power is not a series of giant leaps. It's actually a series of baby steps. And what are those baby steps? Let me introduce you to Mawisa. Mawisa is my mother. She'll be very proud that she's on a presentation that I'm doing. When I was very young, I still remember the fact that my mother instilled certain values in me, certain principles. She was very big on who we are, what we do, not just as women, but as a family, right? And so I had a clear sense of what was right, what was wrong, what was good, and what was bad. So if it felt good, I did it. If it didn't feel good, I did not do it. It's really that simple. And so when somebody instills those values into you, you go out into the world with a sense of awareness or a sense of self. You're just watching how people doing certain things. And that really helped me develop a moral compass. And that moral compass helped me make certain decisions in my life. Is that me making the noise? I'll try not to touch myself. Dr. Eve is here, so I should, but I shouldn't. It's so confusing. And so my mother was very instrumental in giving me an idea of who I was. What did I want? She also made it very clear to me at a very young age that every single thing I did today and tomorrow and the next day was building up to the person that I wanted to be at the end of my very long life. She told me life was long, and so it made me also very aware of my interactions, the relationships I was building, how I treat people, even the doorman. And it's very true, you know, with that outlook on life at a very young age, it really helped me a lot. At 14 years old, I was walking around at the waterfront with my friends, and a lady came up to me and she pushed a piece of paper in my hand, and she was like, I think you'd make a great model. And I was like, really? And my friends were celebrating. They were like, oh my God, yes, 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 yes. And so because of peer pressure, I decided to do it because I wanted my friends to think I was cool. And that modeling career changed the trajectory of my life. I was the tennis ball, the modeling career was the wall. I hit hard against the wall and I changed direction. And it opened up so many things to me. I was living a very sheltered life. It is me. I was living a very sheltered life, and modeling really opened the world up to me. I was the first one in my family to go overseas, and that was monumental. And suddenly I had so many choices. So now I have my moral compass, and I've got my values and principles, and I know who I am, and I know what we do as a family and as a woman, as a black South African woman as well. But now opportunities were coming my way, left, right, and center. And opportunities will come to you as well. And what I want to let you know is that, firstly, opportunities are not always good. I think people think opportunities are always good. Sometimes opportunity looks good at the beginning, but it leads down a darker and darker path, right? And some opportunities, when they do come up, they look very tempting, especially if they're going to add money to your pocket, right? We all want some of that. No, not booty, money in the pocket. And so one of the things that I learned was that if I use those values and those principles to guide my decision making in those incredible opportunities, it became very clear what my goals and directions were. I knew who I wanted to be, and I thought to myself, okay, cool, is this taking me closer to who I want to be, or is it taking me further away from who I want to be? A lot of you are sitting with incredible business opportunities, and you sometimes think to your friend, well, it looks really great, and it's a lot of money right now, and I need it, and it's low-hanging fruit, it's doable. But it's that low-hanging fruit that can compromise the rest of your career if you grab it. Do you understand? Do you get me? And so sometimes you have to make that decision so that your path can be clear. So I had a clear sense of who I was, and I knew where I was going. So the distractions of all these incredible opportunities didn't really deter me, because I kind of knew who I was, and I was grateful for my mother for instilling that in me. And so modeling led to TV, which was great. Some of you are old enough to remember, I was one of those annoying SABC One continuity presenters in the early 2000s. We had a lot of fun, and that was who I was. I was on TV, and life was wonderful. That job came to an end, and I decided, let me go overseas to cold, rainy, dark, sad England. And I went there and I thought to myself, you know, let me have a good time. I'm a young person. I came back, and I came back to nothing. I had no money, I had no job. I was essentially homeless. I was sleeping on my friends' couches. I had no place to stay. And so it really felt a little bit like that. I felt like I had skills, I knew who I was, I had clear goals and directions, I knew where I wanted to be, I had a long set of goals, and I thought to myself, how is this going to happen for me? And one thing that people don't prepare you for is preparing you to accept and understand and recognize failure, right? You fail, and you will fail more than you will ever succeed. But the biggest success stories in life have failed more than you and I have ever tried. So if you think of the Oprahs and the Warren Buffetts, maybe the Patrice Motsepe's, right? The reason why they are so successful is because they're the best at what they do, and that's wonderful. But what we don't see are all the failures, because we fail in silence. We tell no one about it. We own the shame and the humiliation, and you take it very personally, and you wallow, and you think, oh, my business is never going to win. I should just give this up. And it's in this stage in most people's lives, when they've been trying and trying, they're doing good, they're trying to do the right thing, they've got a great business idea, and they're pushing hard, and they know exactly what they want, but they're just not getting the results that they want. And usually at this time, this is when people fail, or not fail, this is when they stop trying. That's when they are centimeters from getting to the diamonds in the mine. They are centimeters away. And so this is a feeling that I've learned to be very comfortable with, that if I fail, I shouldn't take it personally. I'm standing here looking rather cute on a stage, but I have failed more times than you would ever imagine. Badly, dismally, humiliating failure. But as time has gone on, I've realized, oh, okay, this is part of my story. I can't take it too personally. This is what happens, and this is just what's happening to me right now. I remember when I was in primary school, I don't know if you remember as well, when you were in primary school, when you did something really, really great, the teacher would come up and they'd put a gold star right here. And you'd feel like a rock star. And you think to yourself, yes, look at me. And I remember whenever I got that gold star, I'd try and keep it on my forehead for as long as possible. You know, I'm sweating, I'm playing, I go home, I wash, but I'm trying to wash around the gold star. I must be excellent even in my dreams. And I remember the feeling it gave me. It's such a powerful and amazing feeling, to the point where now I have a son and I bought like big packs of gold stars, and I just like dish them out on his forehead so he can get that feeling. But the aim of that was to retain that feeling of excellence. It was a sign that I had done something that was incredible, amazing. I'd gone above and beyond. What I learned, that even if I was not the prettiest or the thinnest or the tallest or the smartest or the wittiest or the best or most qualified at that job, I thought to myself, I always needed to be excellent. And it's free and easy to be excellent in all of the things that people don't think are important. I arrived early, I had a positive attitude, I caused no drama, I was not a diva, I cleaned up after myself, I asked what could I do, I was helping people fold envelopes and fax things and email things. I was running around at any office in any space where I could, trying to add value. Because one thing that I also learned is that it doesn't matter how good you are in what you do, if you are difficult to work with, nobody's going to want to work with you. Even if you are the most talented person in the room or in that industry. I've worked in radio as a program manager, and we've had incredible DJs and presenters. And unfortunately, we let the great ones go because they get caught up by their own hype. And they stop arriving early, they stop doing their work because they think they've arrived and here I am, and you should just bask in my amazingness. And they stop trying to be excellent, they stop pushing. So I'm here to try and also encourage you that try and go the extra mile in whatever you do. The extra mile, it's very spacious there because no one else is there except for you, okay? Push harder and be excellent. There are enough mediocre people in the world. There are enough mediocre people in the world. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're a florist, be the best goddamn florist in the world. Try hard to do that to the best of your ability, because people will remember that. And if people remember that, they'll want to continue building a relationship with you, right? They want to be able to have somebody in their lives that they can rely on. And without those relationships, your career is dead in the water. Because it's all about how we make people feel. It's all about trying that extra mile and just pushing a bit harder. So I always think of that feeling that I want. I want that gold star. Adults don't get them. I don't know why. That sucks. In the career that I've chosen, which is media and broadcasting, it's a very fickle career. It really relies on other people approving and deciding or choosing whether you're in or hot or fabulous or great, whether you're the it girl or not. And so there have been many times when I've pushed really hard, I've done all the right things, I've got my moral compass going, I'm trying to be excellent, and still things don't work out for me. And I tell people one of the greatest characteristics you could ever have, whatever business it is, also just in life in general, one of the best things that you could have is the ability to bounce back. Resilience. Resilience is probably the most powerful characteristic you will ever have, because earlier on I spoke about the fact that you will always fail, guaranteed. Shit will hit the fan. It's not if it will, it's inevitable, it's coming. So when you know it's coming and when it does happen, yes, you can get knocked down, but like the great saying goes, fall down 7, get up 8, right? Yes? You with me? Got it. So resilience is something that I've learned is extremely powerful. Learn how to bounce back. Learn how to take something from your failures. What was the lesson? What are you supposed to be taught now? What will you do differently? Interrogate, do a personal audit, figure it out, and use that knowledge to then come back and attack your goal again, whatever it is. If that fails, you learn again and you bounce back. So I've learned that resilience, more than anything, has been one of the greatest things that I've learned to develop, because there are detours, potholes, speed bumps, hurdles, you name it, it's going to happen. If you have a sense of self, if you stop taking things to your heart so personally, it's so much easier to learn the lesson from a distance than it is to internalize the pain of failure. The reason why I like the song that I started out with is because it talks about walking. And the lyrics of the song talk about the fact that a lot of people want to get there really quickly. They want to run, they really want to fly through it all. And the message, I feel, in that song talks about the fact that slow and steady still wins the race. Having a long career, yes, it sounds very impressive when I say 25 years to my friends, because I look 25, right? No. It sounds really impressive, but really it's made by little baby steps accumulated one on top of the other. It's those very small incremental changes and improvements that you make in your life on a daily basis that will get you to your end goal. I also just wanted to say there are a lot of people that we all understand what the glass ceiling is, checking my time, but there's also something called the glass bottom. We know the glass ceiling, but there's also something called the glass bottom. The glass bottom is something we think we're too good for that. I'm not going to do that because that's why they've got Eunice. Eunice must just do the thing because I'm too good for that. I'm here to tell you, you're not too good for anything. Success is not owed to you. You have to create it and work and push towards it. You need to learn how to fail forward. I have failed more times than I can even count. And it's because of an incredible support structure that I've had. But I've also learned, looking back, I did not have these insights going forward. I did not have them. But I knew that it was through very small, tiny interactions, learnings, lessons that I accumulated on my path that I think has helped me come to this point today. I don't know, but I think so. These are the lessons that I've learned, and hopefully they will assist you too. Thank you so much.